Peace, love, and life, family. Welcome back to Universal Thought. I'm AG. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing the 7 universal laws, also known as the teachings of Thoth or the Hermetic principles. The purpose of this video is just to give a basic overview of these principles to establish basic comprehension and application of these laws so that you can consciously manifest your destiny. So to jump right in, let's go to the first law, which is mentalism. It states that the mind is all. The universe is mental. There's been studies circulating the web alluding to the notion that we have roughly 70,000 thoughts per day. There are contradictory studies that states that it's less, around 15 to 30,000, but then there's also studies stating that it's upwards to 100,000. So what they are vaguely enunciating is that our brains, or our electromagnetic neurological transceiver, is continuously receiving and transmitting energy or electricity in the form of thoughts. Now, this is important because these thoughts become vibrations. These vibrations become the building blocks to our reality. I'm sure we're familiar with the term, if you believe it, you can achieve it, or if you can visualize it, you can materialize it. And that is factual. Just to put it simply, think of anytime you wanted to rearrange your bedroom or your home or whatever, your office, whatever it may be. Before you started shifting around furniture or desk or whatever it is, you first painted a mental visual of what it was you wanted the finished product to look like. And then you moved the furniture around accordingly. This principle applies to everything. Everything starts as a thought and a subsequent action. So to apply this principle to your benefit, you want to be conscious of the vibration of the information that you are feeding your conscious and your subconscious mind. Basic psychology tells us that our subconscious mind is 90% stronger than the conscious mind. The subconscious mind, whatever it believes, is what it brings to fruition to the conscious mind. So be aware of what you are feeding your conscious and subconscious. Change your thoughts, change your vibrations, change your reality. And that concludes the first law. The second law is the principle of correspondence. The principle of correspondence states that as above, so below, as above, what is out, it is in, what is in, it is out. Now, this law is used to bridge the gap between the unknown and the known. Our ancestors oftentimes look to the skies to figure out the intricacies of life on Earth. The pyramids are aligned with the constellation. This is representation of the law of correspondence. It is showing you the correspondence between the mental, the material, and the spiritual planes. So, I apologize, family, I had to take a call, but let's get right back into the law of correspondence. As above, so below, as above, what is out, it is in, what is in, it is out. So, if you were to ask someone, where is the kingdom of God, where's the kingdom of heaven, the most typical response would be, in the sky, beyond the stars. But Jesus was teaching, let's go to Luke 17:21, he taught that the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of God, is within. Now, this is important because it's pertinent to these first two principles, the principle of mentalism and the principle of correspondence. If heaven is in the sky, out of our solar system, out of our reach in the physical, but that's what we're all striving for, we need to find the connection, the correspondence of the heaven that is out there and the heaven that is within that Jesus was speaking about. Before you go to any heaven outside of here, first you find heaven in the mental, here on earth, in the spiritual. And that concludes the second law, the law of correspondence. So let's jump right into the third law, the law of vibration, which I love because it states that nothing rests, everything is moving. Now, Tesla taught us that everything is electricity. Understanding this is imperative because everything has its own vibration, its own frequency. When you think of love or happiness or serenity, these are all powerful emotions. Now, what are emotions? They are simply chemical reactions and currents of energy that are flowing within us. So, let's say when you think of your children, you think of your home or your car or your furniture or whatever it may be. All of these items or things, people, whatever, give you specific feelings, emotions, thoughts, vibrations. Now, let's use your radio as an example. Say you got a sports channel, a worship channel, and a hip hop channel. You see on Facebook that the Warriors is going crazy, so you want to tune into the game. You don't cut your radio on and go to the worship station expecting to hear the Warriors, Curry and Thompson, Durant going crazy. You could because you know that there is a specific frequency that that channel is programmed to. So this is very imperative because the same way you would go to this specific frequency, this specific channel, you want to do the same thing with whatever it is you are attracting or manifesting by channeling your energy to the specific frequency of whatever it may be, whatever feeling it is that you are manifesting. First, you must harness that feeling, resonate with it, align yourself with it, and that's how you bring it to fruition. So that concludes the law of vibration. The fourth, excuse me, the fourth principle is the principle of polarity. Now, polarity states that everything is dual, everything have opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, just varying in degrees. Heat and cold, black, white, good, evil, positive, negative. These are all the same things, just opposite ends of the polarity. Apologies again, family. I had to relocate somewhere closer to my charger. So back to these polarities. We're going to use heat and cold as an example. Say you want to cut your heat on. You go to your thermostat and you turn the degrees up. Say it's hot and you want to cool down. You go to the same thermostat and you turn the degrees down. This is important because you adjust the heat and the cold using the same thermostat. You read the heat and the cold using the same thermometer. So, it is because heat and cold are identical in nature, just opposites in degree. And for you to use this principle to your benefit, say you are feeling a way that is not conducive to your elevation or to your ascension, you would simply use the momentum you are feeling to your benefit by fixating on its polar opposite and bringing forth an emotion or a vibration that is conducive to your ascension. And that is how you would use that principle to your benefit. So that concludes the principle of polarity. Now we're at the fifth principle, which is the principle of rhythm. The principle of rhythm states that everything flows. You have in and out, high tide, low tide, always a rise, always a fall, always an advance and a retreat. The momentum of the universe acts as a swing in a pendulum. You often hear people say, oh, they took 2 steps forward and 4 steps back. This is because they don't understand this principle, the principle of rhythm, and they are letting the swing of the pendulum work against them opposed to working for them. How you would let the swing of the pendulum work for you is by being in tune with your inner self. Know when your energy, when the universe, when your momentum is working in your favor. And also, you want to be in tune with yourself and with the universe to know when the energy, when the momentum is working against you, and when the universe is like, yo, chill out. You know what I mean? Right now, you don't want to act too much. You want to just, um, you know, you want to regroup, recollect your thoughts, and rebuild your momentum. And that way, you don't have the pendulum pushing you back after you'd made an advancement. And that's how you would use the principle of rhythm to your benefit. So now, the sixth principle is the principle of cause and effect, which states that there's no such thing as chance. Everything happens according to law. There are many causes to the effect. To use this to your benefit, you want to become the cause opposed to the effect. You want to become the action opposed to the reaction. And you do this by, once again, being in tune with your inner self, staying true to your nature, and knowing that you control your experience, you control your thoughts, you control your vibration. Do not let it or them control you, and do not let others control them. And when I say them, I mean your emotions, your thoughts, your vibration, and etc. So, you hear people say they are a product of their environment. And that's because they are the effect and not the cause. You become the cause by making your environment a product of you. And that's how you use the cause and effect principle to your benefit. And that concludes that sixth principle. Now, the seventh principle is the principle of gender. Gender manifest in all things. You'll see gender manifest in the material plane, the mental plane, as well as the spiritual plane. It'll manifest in the physical in the form of sex. You'll also see gender manifest in the form of positive or negative energy, or masculine or feminine energy. Even our brains are separated into two hemispheres. The left hemisphere controls creativity, and it is ruled by feminine energy. Your right hemisphere is ruled by masculine energy, and that controls your logic. So, for you to use this principle to your benefit is to simply find balance. Find balance between the two. Let's say you want to borrow the scales of Ma'at and figure out if you're putting too much weight on the negative and you need to lean more towards positivity, or if you're being too positive and now you need a little bit of reality and balance it out. So a great analogy for this would be Earth. On Earth, you have two poles. You have the North Pole, you have the South Pole. While they are both capable of sustaining life, it is harsh. And the conditions that those poles provide are not ideal for a high quality of life. Think of the most optimum spot on Earth, and that would be the equator. That's where the most natural resources are abundant and where you have the least amount of storms or harsh weather. And that is because that is the equilibrium or the balance point. So simply find your equilibrium, simply find the balance between the feminine and the masculine, or the positive and the negative. That concludes the seven principles. I hope that this video contains information that is applicable to you right now, that as soon as you're done watching, you could take this information and change your life, change your mentality right now. As always, if you have any questions, drop them down below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Peace, love, and light, family.